What's going on, everyone? So after the Orlando Magic trade for Desmond Bane, it's kind of created this buzz and this question of like, does this change the trade market, right? Like, is this one of those trades that set the tone and the standard for the rest of the trade market? Or is it one of those things like a Mikal Bridges, like a Rudy Gobert, where one team just really valued this guy more than anyone else and was willing to pony up whatever they had to go get him? Or, it's just a circumstantial type of thing where teams look at it and go like, hey, that was more of an outlier than it was hey, this is the new standard going forward. Now, if it is the new standard going forward, if you're the Lakers, that definitely changes your trade approach. Not only as a buyer, because now the price has gone up for guys, but also maybe as a seller, right? Because if Desmond Bane is going for that price and that is the new standard, if you're the Lakers, I think you're definitely looking at a guy like an Austin Reeves and a Rui Hachimura and going like, what can we get for these guys, right? Like if Desmond Bane is going for 4 firsts and a pick swap, granted one of those firsts probably for KCP's contract, so let's call it 3 firsts and a pick swap. Can we get that for Austin Reeves, right? Not counting the young player and the veteran guy. Could you maybe get a young player in 3 firsts for Austin Reeves? Again, going on the assumption that is now the new mold and standard as far as trades go, right? Same thing with Rui Hachimura, right? You might have been looking like, oh, maybe we could get a protected first, or, maybe a team, a veteran team that's trying to win. Maybe, they'd be willing to give up a first because not all firsts are the same, right? So maybe we could convince a team to give us a first for Rui. Well, now, Desmond Bane's going for that, could you get multiple firsts? Could you get an unprotected first? Because it's like, hey, Desmond Bane is going for 4 firsts at a pick swap. You don't think that we could get at least an unprotected, right? The Lakers need to find out one way or another. Because if that was just an outlier in the norm, then I think, that doesn't mean you can't get things for a Rui and a Reeves similar, right? Because, again, there's always going to be that team. You see it every year. A team that just values a guy as a need more so than any other team would, right? If a team like Houston, as an example, I'm just using them as an example because I do think they're a team that really could use Austin Reeves. If they miss out on Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo doesn't ever become available, and they're looking around like, we really can't run this back, right? We still have a lot of problems playmaking, self-creation, scoring, all those things. Do they now pivot and hit up the Lakers and go like, what do you want for Austin Reeves? I've talked about, could you get a, Cam Whitmore and a Jabari Smith Jr. and maybe some assets, right? Maybe you can get a first or 2, right? Especially you could point to the Desmond Bane situation and go like, hey, look at Desmond Banes. Also, by the way, Austin Reeves, when he's the second option, when LeBron doesn't play, Austin Reeves is averaging 28, 6, and 8. Right? Like, you're going to have to pony up for that type thing, right? So maybe you would find a team that do that. I think I do think the Desmond Bane trade, bare minimum, changes the approach of the Lakers trade market. Not saying that set the tone or the standard, but I think now if you're the Lakers, you are at least exploring things and maybe taking calls and stuff that you wouldn't have done otherwise. Right? Like Austin Reeves, period, I think you bare minimum need to at least listen to potential trade talks, right? You don't have to trade him. You're not obligated to trade him. Like, I don't think he's going anywhere if you pay him, right? There is even an argument to be made that, you may be able to get more and might be better to trade him if he's already under contract, right? Like if Lakers sign him to a new contract, then it'd be easier to trade him, right? However, I also think it depends on how much his new contract is, right? Like if he's making 30 plus, if he signs 5 years, 150 million, then yeah, absolutely. I think it would be very easy to trade, right? However, if he signs 5 years, 200 million, I think it's going to be really hard to trade him. If not, you might not even be able to trade him because now he's overpaid. He's 40 million, right? And like how many teams, are willing to just trade for a $40 million guy that isn't a superstar, right? So like, that's where my dilemma lies in that regard. But if you can get him on a $30 million deal, then yes, I absolutely think teams would trade for him and you'd be able to get more. So, but I do think you at least are answering those phone calls. I think you are at least, having those exploratory talks and conversations and just kind of gauging and hearing out what is available. Because what if a team does come along? Again, what if, we'll just use Houston as an example. I'm not saying that they will do this, but what happens if they miss out on Kevin Durant? They don't have a way to get Giannis. They look at who's available or potentially available, and they're just like, let's go make a play on Austin Reeves. And what if they're willing to drastically overpay for Austin Reeves like Orlando was willing to do for Desmond Bane? What if you can get Cam Whitmore, Jabari Smith Jr., and maybe you get Reed Shepherd and an asset, right? Or maybe you could get those two guys and 2 firsts or whatever, because it's like, hey, Cam Whitmore, he's kind of just like a prove-it guy. He's a flyer guy. Jabari Smith has shown some promise. He's a guy that could be really good for us, right? But hey, Austin Reeves, you don't know what another team will pay. People always talk about like, no one wants to trade with the Lakers. No one wants to do this, that, and the other. And yet teams always do, right? Lakers don't have assets to go get anybody. Yet the Lakers seem to always do. It's funny how that works, right? And it's funny that Lakers always seem to get their guy, always seem to pull off a trade, always seem to get, fleece the other team, whatever. Sucks to suck, huh? But every year it's so, all I hear is, Lakers, Lakers don't have this, or Lakers don't have that, or Lakers don't have assets. And then you go get Luka. They're never going to get a Dorian Finney-Smith. It's like, really, a Dorian Finney-Smith? But okay. Oh, hey, guess what? Lakers got Dorian Finney-Smith, right? Lakers are never going to get a Joy Kobe because you're never going to get another star after him. Never really 1, 2. Guess what? It was 2 years after that. We go get LeBron James, and then the following year, you go get Anthony Davis and win a championship. So you were right. We didn't get a star. We got 2 after him. Right? And now we have 2 right now, and another one in Luka who could be our star for the next 10 years. Right? So again, it's just, it's silly. Lakers have assets. There are pieces on this Lakers team that teams will value. It's just to what varying degree. Right? And it's just finding that right team that's willing to pony up what is necessary in order to get it done. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you believe that, with the Desmond Bane situation, do you think that maybe shifts and changes the way that the Lakers kind of approach this upcoming, trade deadline, or not trade deadline, but offseason and trade time? Do you think, no, it doesn't change anything? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.